Just the tears of one hero literally burns evil on contact, and another had a hand in causing the dinosaurs to go extinct. We'll get into all this and more in Ancient Superheroes More Powerful Than You Think. Starting off with Gabriel Shepherd, the most powerful mutant. Kind of. He is the most powerful of his genre of mutants, which is proto-mutants. This group of people had the gene that eventually evolved into the mutant gene found in the X-Men today. Only a few hundred proto-mutants existed, and big surprise, Gabriel is the last of them. He looked the most human. So, Gabriel allied with the X-Men, but then picked a fight because he discovered that the other proto-mutants had been getting revived to be used as weapons. Gabriel was so mad about this, he literally disappeared into pure energy. Goals, I guess? He returned later to help the X-Men take down Lady Deathstrike. Gabriel might as well be an Omega level mutant. He has lived a very long time and he will live forever. He is strong, he can generate electricity, fly, hear everything, including your thoughts. His telepathic abilities can reach over vast distances, but if you wanted to Uno reverse and use telepathy on him, no such luck. He can throw up some pretty solid mental shields. Goodness knows he's had the time to practice. If you annoy him enough, he might just turn you into a tree using his transmutation abilities, but he's a good guy, so you're probably safe. And finally, he can also stop time, but that's only been shown for a radius of about 500 meters as of right now. Nobody's perfect. Up next is Vision, but not the one you might be thinking of. I'm talking about the original Aarkus, Destroyer of Evil. This immortal hero debuted in Marvel Mystery Comics 13 and then disappeared for a long time. He was supposed to join the Avengers, but Stan Lee wanted the next member to be an android, so Avengers writer Roy Thomas created Vision. He named him the same thing and took inspiration from the OG's appearance and mysterious backstory, creating the more popular version of Vision that we now know today. The original is making a comeback though, and it's well deserved. This hero is underutilized considering how powerful he is, but that might have to do with an interesting weakness. He can teleport anywhere at all. The only catch is there must be smoke or gas or vapor present. Literally like a magician puffing away in a cloud of smoke. He has powers over gases and things like that. He can use them for transport, but manipulate them and make them solid. But that isn't all he can do. Among the usual enhancements like extreme speed and strength, he's almost impossible to hurt. Nothing can poison him, nothing can seriously pierce his body, he can breathe anywhere. He can also fly, project mental images, make himself appear human, freeze things by touch, and temporarily mind control people. No one knows when this hero was born, but the official Marvel handbook says that he is at least centuries old. Tomazooma, the Native American god of kinship and storytelling, has appeared a few times over the years, and not all of the appearances are considered equal. In some of them, he is the all-powerful, thousands of years old god that can easily lift 25 tons and strike fear into all those he faces, but then in some appearances, he's actually a robot. An oil company built a robot version of the ancient god in order to scare an indigenous group off their land so they could drill for oil. This version of the god shot fire from his hands, concussive beams from his eyes, and can lift up to 100 tons. No matter which version of the character we're looking at, he's pretty powerful. Lacie has survived living hundreds of years in the vacuum of space, and she has since retired to a simple life of working in a remote gas station in Montana. I mean, if I were left in space for a couple hundred years, I too wouldn't mind spending the next few centuries with my feet on solid ground with a steady line of work. Lacie was born in ancient Greece and discovered on the day of a major surgery that her body was indestructible. She crossed the universe to try and get that surgery of a device that might be able to do the trick. The problem was it was guarded by a celestial, and it wasn't until she was blasted with all its force that Lacie and those she traveled with realized the device was already stolen. She spent the next 100 years floating through space until she was rescued, and now she lives the quiet life as a gas station attendant and mechanic with a neat story. Tarene's birth was prophesized billions of years before she was born, and when she finally did arrive, she more than delivered. Tarene was said to be the designate, the being that would help sentient beings evolve to the next level. She started her hero's journey after meeting Thor. She admired him and decided to become Thor Girl. She got her own hammer, and it is quite similar to Thor's. It helps her fly and fire concentrated energy blasts. As the designate, Tarene was immortal and was capable of manipulating cosmic energy. That can manifest in various ways, like energy blasts, or illusions, or shapeshifting, even becoming all-knowing. But she has a pretty unique power. This is directly from Thor Volume 2, Issue 25. If her tears touch evil, unprotected by the Stone of Illumination, then it will literally burn it. In this case, the it was Thanos. She has been referred to as unstoppable, and Thor even once considered her powers to rival his father Odin's. For the rare few of you that are not familiar with the Silver Surfer's game, please consider this a quick introductory. This hero is considered one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, and there are a lot of powerful things out there. Also, dermatologists hate him. He's literally centuries old, but he doesn't look a day over 30. As a herald of Galactus, Silver Surfer was imbued with the power cosmic, aka the source of unlimited cosmic energy. That comes with all the expected bells and whistles in regards to making sure he can physically do the job of being a herald to Galactus, but it helps him with the mental work too. Concepts and rules of the universe that would normally make the average human brain collapse in on itself are light work to Surfer. He can handle being aware of the entire universe. Silver Surfer does surf on his board, it would be weird if he didn't, but he doesn't require the board to fly as he can propel himself, or if he really wants to, he could just teleport. He's accessed the astral plane and destroyed souls, messed with the foundations of nature, gravity, weather, water, light, and there is literally so much more. There is a reason the Silver Surfer is a fan favorite character. But time for some Canadian representation. Snowbird, my queen, is an Inuit demigod whose main power is shapeshifting into any animals native to northern Canada, but she can perform many other impressive feats as well. Her other powers include flight, super strength, and the ability to see the past, up to 6 hours. She is skilled in hand-to-hand combat, having been trained by none other than Alberta-born hero Wolverine. This is already so Canadian, but we're about to add even more maple syrup to the mix. Snowbird is the daughter of the goddess of the Northern Lights, an immortal man. She was bound to Canadian land so she could take on a human form to be the voice of gods on Earth. But this means that if she leaves Canada, she gets weaker. Snowbird's day-to-day identity is Anne Mackenzie, an RCMP officer. Snowbird at this point has been released from her earthly tether and is offered a place among the gods, but refuses to go unless her child and husband can come with her. It took some persuasion, but the gods eventually agreed, and we get a rare happily ever after. I mean, it doesn't last forever, but she had it for a little while. Early in the Marvel Earth history, a bunch of gods had turned evil and were being terrible, and eventually, somebody had to put a stop to it all. Enter Atum, the God Eater, son of Gaia, Mother Earth, and the Demiurge, the planet's life force. Atum was brought in to put an end to the gods consuming each other and turning demonic, and he did this by consuming all the evil gods and then turning partially demonic. So like, he kind of did the job, but at what cost? Good thing, the good side of him still had morals and didn't want to let the evil consume him. He flew up into the atmosphere to fix himself up before heading back home to the sun. He got all the evil elder gods except 2, Set and Chthon, but they were banished to other realms, so he did still finish the job. Set and Atum did go head to head again a bit later over the dinosaurs. Gaia had plans to stop sustaining dinosaurs and instead get to work on mammals. Set, who had bonded with the dinos, didn't like that idea and picked a fight. Gaia called in her son to finish it. This massive battle is what, in the Marvel Universe anyways, caused the dinosaurs to go extinct. I love Marvel history, it is so entertaining. Set returns to his dimension and Atum to the sun. The next time he returns to Earth, he takes on a new name, that being Ra, and then eventually Ra the sun god from Egyptian mythology. Our most unique and technically incomplete path to godhood today belongs to Alexander Aaron, son of Ares. His mother was a mortal woman, which would typically make someone a demigod. However, Alexander was born mortal. Ares turned his back on the gods to raise his son normally, much to Zeus's annoyance, as the Olympians needed the war god to help with the impending fight with the Japanese god of evil. To get Ares back, Zeus kidnapped Alexander as leverage, but before Ares could get him back, Alex was kidnapped a second time by none other than the Japanese god of evil. Ares was a major player in the fight after this. Alexander's godly side was awakened when the Japanese god gave him some of his life force to drink. He brainwashed Alexander and pit him against his father. Zeus was able to clear Alexander's brainwashed state, but by that point Alex had already seriously harmed his dad in battle and woke up to Ares at his feet. It was tragic, but luckily Ares is a god, so he was reborn in no time. At this point, with his godhood awakened, Alex is sought out by Nick Fury, and this is when he finds out that he will become the next god of fear. This comes with a pretty cool set of powers. He can tell what everyone's greatest fear is and use his eyes to place that fear in your head. And he can also see the future now, just as like a fun little extra. And finally, the best for last because I'm a cat person. The Egyptian lion goddess has two modes, Hathor, the peaceful, playful goddess of love, and Sekhmet, the violent war goddess. So she might seem all cute and cuddly, but she can and will demolish you. She acted as a warrior to the sun god Ra whenever the people of Egypt would try to rebel against him. Her war goddess side, once unleashed, is pretty hard to control. Once she was unleashed on Egypt and slayed half the population before Ra had to step in, the only way to get her to stop was to trick her into drinking large quantities of inebriating drinks that Ra dyed red. The hope and successful outcome was that the war goddess would see the red and, thinking it was humans red, drink herself unconscious, giving her brain time to settle back into the love goddess. Sekhmet is capable of a male form, but it requires a human host. But what do you think? Let us know, and if you want more, check out superhero costume redesigns you've never seen before. Hosts get into all the new designs that have graced heroes in past and present. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!